In fact, there is one story I recall now. The way I got my social security number. um, in order to get my driver's license, the first thing you need is get a denial from the social security or get a social security. I actually went for the denial for the social security, but I was actually offered the social security. I don't know, somehow I confused the lady. Asking for the denial. I believe she just gave it right away, and that was funny at the time.
Mm. I've been in America for a long time. I used to travel back and forth. But when I was younger, I believe it was fourth or fifth grade, I used to wear the hijab, the headscarf, and a little boy, I mean, he wasn't little, he was my age, but he was little right back then. He came up to me and he asked me whether I had ears. I told him no, I don't have ears. And he was just like, really? How can you hear me? I'm like, what? What? I can't hear you. It was so ridiculous, because people just don't think. People don't like. I mean, he was young, which was fine. But growing up, I've had other people ask me like, "Do you have hair?" or when I start speaking and I don't have an accent, and they're just like shocked, like, "Oh, you don't have an accent." I'm like, "Yeah, I've been in America for a long time." So just there's a lot of funny stories, but they're mostly out of ignorance.
Some people don't know if there's a country called Tanzania. So most of them, when I tell them I come from Tanzania, and they ask, where is it from? Is it Tasmania? It's an island in close to Australia. So they say, okay, you come from Australia? And I say, no, it's a country in Africa. Because I understand most people wouldn't know so much about other parts of the world, let alone some countries in Africa if there's nothing happening. So that has been very funny when people confuse it to Tasmania in Australia.
Okay, funny story. Yes, I have one funny one. I got in the building. I was told I should go to um the first floor. I walked to the building. I climbed upstairs, and I was looking for the room, round and round. And I asked somebody, I'm looking for the first floor. The guy said I should go downstairs. But in my country, there's really no basement. You just walk down, and there's the ground floor, and the first floor is upstairs. Over here, I think the floor on the ground, not below the ground, is the first floor, and they have a basement. So that was really funny to me because I was walking back and forth trying to find where the first floor is. And I had another funny one with I went to use the ATM somewhere in downtown Bridgeport, and it was really really funny because I went to the ATM, I put my card into the ATM, and it came out. I didn't look at the screen. I'm like, what's happening? Is he rejecting my ATM? I put it again. It came out. I put it again. What's happening? Then there was this baby, there was this kid behind me. She just said, you gotta, you gotta. She now said, it has accepted my card. I gotta just hold on and start putting my pin. Usually the ATMs in my country, you put the ATM, and it takes it. It gives you your money. It gives you your money, then ejects the ATM. All the ATMs I've ever come across.
Always, whenever you travel, when I go home and come back, I always have like problems either with my passport or my luggage. They always check your luggage for no reason. One time I was going to the airport to go home and I forgot my passport, so I had to turn around and go back and get my passport. It was funny afterwards, but it was not funny at the moment.
Yes, story. I went with my friend to Washington D.C. to do some stuff in the SACM, the Attache place, whatever it's called. So we went there by car. We traveled together, and we decided to go by car together. So it took us like 5 hours from Fairfield to Washington D.C. And when we arrived there, we checked in a hotel, and we stayed there. And then, unfortunately, there was a snow next day, so we couldn't do our job. So we had to stay another day. So at like we went out. When we came back, we went to sleep around like uh, 12 a.m. And at 3 a.m., the fire alarm like started working, and we were like so shocked. So I was sleeping, and then I woke up, and I saw my friend, and I heard the fire alarm. I said, all right, wake up. And he woke up. All right, and he started dressing up. When I dressed up, I put my shoes on. But I was like, I really needed to go to the bathroom. So in my mind, what's important to me to go to the bathroom rather than to run for my life. So I went in the bathroom. It was just 1 second. I came out. I didn't find my friend. And I went out in the hallway and I looked at the left and he was running. I said, "Oh, wait for me. Faisal, wait for me." And he's like, he looked back at me and he completely ignored me and kept running for his life. I was like, oh my God. So in this moment, you know your true friends. Was the funniest story that I ever witnessed in USA.
Funny story is that it's happened a lot to me where I'm talking in my own language and there's somebody next to me hearing me talking in my own language and replying me back in my same own language, and you look surprised to them like, wow, you're Arabic and stuff like that, and he just replies you back in yes, and you just get to know them, and that actually happened a lot to me, and yeah.